what focuses I had in my early sobriety, before sobriety, in the heat of my addiction, the things I was grateful for are nowhere near of celebration that I do today. I was just celebrating, just surviving the weekend at a certain part of my addiction where I wasn't focused on family and friends or even responsibility or relationships. These were never things that I would celebrate. But I look back now and I wasn't practicing gratitude. And when I look at my life now, one of the stark changes is coming from setting it up, from making time, from committing to follow through, from surrounding myself with others that are also like-minded. One of these by themselves isn't going to move me into gratitude, but that 5%, that 10%, that shift, that tiny little shift added on top of the other tiny shift, it's enough to curve a rounded negative day into a positive one. And rather than let things live with me or let resentment build up in me, I'm able to move through it and navigate it and shape it into something more. One of these things by themselves isn't enough to solve all that, but it's good practice for me to help focus on revealing parts of me that I want to work on, help celebrate the things I want to create more of. I hope that makes sense. So, our friend Megan is saying, I've started to write things down for what I'm grateful for, even the little things. That's awesome. The little things matter most. But also try and write down the things that I'm hopeful to be grateful for in the future, kind of like goals. But then it can be anything that I find likely to happen that could bring me joy. That's amazing. Future Megan will be thankful for your efforts today. That's huge. Good for you, Megan. That's awesome. Not many people can zone in on that laser focus, make it a real thing. It's too easy to not want to do something like that. You've created that opportunity for it to grow. And I think that's awesome. I think that's huge, Megan. This is a question. Is there any side effects of gratitude? Well, when it comes to gratitude, is there any impacts? When I express gratitude to another person, so when I say to my friend Megan, thank you for being here, I really appreciate that. I really, really appreciate you as a person, as a friend, as a shining light, as a pillar of the community for the hard work that you do. When I share that genuinely, the people observing that also see that. That reflects inside them as well. So they observe that and they bring that into their life. So even though I'm sharing that gratitude to a person directly, someone else observing that gets to experience the same gratitude. And that sparks, but then moves the needle just a tiny bit. And maybe it doesn't move them 10%, maybe it moves them 2 or 3%. And then when you compile that on a few more gratitude steps, maybe that moves them into a 20% range. It's really interesting, gratitude. By living a gratitude first life, I deprive other areas of my life. And what do I mean by that? I mean, if I'm living a gratitude life first, not giving room for negativity to grow, I'm not giving room for anxiety. Anxiety still is going to be present. Resentment is still going to show up. But the difference is it's not going to have a hold on me. It's not going to grip. It's not going to, there's times where I'm genuinely afraid of something. But if I'm living a gratitude life first, I'm not putting blinders on where I'm just avoiding all realism. I'm still grounded in reality, but I can still take a focus on gratitude. I can still take a minute to appreciate that, yes, these are things that are happening, but I also have an opportunity to put my own label on things, and I can use that to move forward rather than use something to be crippling or limiting, or we've talked before about limiting beliefs. So if I'm living a gratitude first life, an impact of that on a long-term basis can shift my perception of how I'm showing up every day. It can shift who I'm surrounding myself every day with. It can shift the long-term impacts of I'm not feeling anxious all the time. That can be a very cool thing to not have to stress about. Hold on.